Volunteers say the new Thousand Islands Arts Center facility in Clayton will enhance the cultural landscape of downtown. But one neighbor right next door doesn't see it that way, going to court to try to stop the project. Here's 7 News reporter Lexi Bruning.
Along James Street in Clayton is the Thousand Islands Arts Center shop. Enclosed in barbed wire, it'll be torn down and a 3-story structure will take its place.
We have been thinking about this building and what we need to do to showcase our hand-weaving collection that is simply remarkable.
Just a few feet next to the construction is neighbor Roland Thomas. After speaking to officials on multiple occasions, he's taken the project to Supreme Court in Jefferson County, citing multiple code violations associated with the project. The Village, Town, and Joint Town Village of Clayton Planning Board are all named in the paperwork.
They're here to protect the look of the village, the spaces between buildings, and they're just, I guess they have the power to totally ignore them for some people.
Thomas argues the new center violates village zoning law because it does not create off-street parking. He says according to the village's code, the creation of off-street parking is mandatory in all zoning districts. He also argues the 3-story facility does not meet the lot size requirements and needs additional variances.
They shouldn't be able to jam it on top of everybody else in a residentially constructed neighborhood with a box of a building that's modern and sticks out, but I guess that's what they want.
Those with the Thousand Islands Arts Center say the entire process has been very well thought out with the community in mind.
We have tried to be very conscientious about being sensitive to our neighborhood and our community, and we're very pleased that the planning board and the zoning board listened.
The next court date is scheduled for October. Lexi Bruning, 7 News.